Hello, Deep Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, it's the joy of being a live stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. And we're very excited to be here with you. We're going to be meditating today, which is a great little break from our daily lives. I guess it's not really accurate. It's more of a deep dive into the most interesting and rich parts of our daily lives. And that's going to be a good time. So, folks, let me know where you're coming from as I try to entice the little puppy to come over. Come here, doggy. Humans want to see you on the screen. Excellent, folks. Very excited to be here with you. We're continuing to do one of my favorite practices, which is the life practice, and we're going to be doing that for about 25 minutes. So where are folks coming from as we're joining here? Come here, baby. Come here. She's usually very cooperative, and as soon as I put her on camera, she starts flailing and catching every single wire that exists. Look at this little schnoop. If you don't know, her name is Sila, which is an ancient Pali term for any movement towards goodness of any kind. Basically, ethics. Come on, little baby. We also recently changed her eyebrows because her eyebrows were like more like the breed standard, and they covered her eyes. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. They covered her eyes, and so you couldn't see her little cute eyes. And I noticed that it's so funny how like puppy dogs have puppy dog eyes. And I was wondering, like, why do they have this sort of look all the time, like they're pleading with you, like, pay attention to me? And I realized, like, for survival and breeding purposes, that was probably the case, that puppies that looked more like that got more food, and puppies that looked more like that got less food. And so over time, my little darling, that was what happened. Hello, Tamalan from Indian. My dog is so cute. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're here with us. No, don't drink my water, little puppy. The puppy's out running around right now, and I think that might be a mistake. Oh, and the gate is open, so she's definitely going to go chew socks in our room. Let me see if I can close the gate really quick. One sec. So we're trying something a little different today. Because usually for the stream we put her in her little pen and let her chill out there. But today we're going to see, what if she's just out and about and, making a ruckus. But usually she's pretty quiet, so hopefully she doesn't find some new way to make noise as soon as the meditation starts. Welcome, Rory, coming to you from Kingston, Ontario. What's going on this morning? What's happening in Kingston? What's happened in Kingston since we last saw each other? That's what I want to know. Kingston, as far as I know, is a little, snowy, icy container that holds precisely one Rory. And so that's what it is to me. So I'm curious what the hell's going on there. Good morning, Jean from Brooklyn. Great to see you. Happy to be here with you. Brian, 6024. Great. Good mornings from New Orleans. Lovely New Orleans morning. Exciting to be here with you. So, folks, we're going to be practicing. Today I want to be a kind of introduction to this life practice program that we've been doing. So if that's of interest, then today's the day. Nick says, at home in Karlstad, chilling on the couch with a cat, experiencing some decrease work. Oh, do you know what I wanted to try today? This is something I wanted to try. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. We have a new subscriber, Nick. Welcome to the subscription team. Nick is actually one of our oldest subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Let's see, 13 months in a row. That's very kind of you. You're one of our top subscribers of all time. So we just appreciate you very much. And just so everyone knows, P.S., if you don't know this, I don't know what the link is. If someone has the link and a way to do it, great. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free once a month. You just have to resubscribe each month. It doesn't carry over. So you could be supporting the channel for nothing if you have Amazon Prime. ZenMind says, can you do a stream about Advaita Vedanta? I'd have to do a little research because I realized that part of my, kryptonite or Achilles heel is that I know a lot of practices through Shinzen, and often their names are very broad. It's like do nothing practice or kind of various things. So I would have to look into Vedanta practice, but I swear I've done practices that are related. But again, I'm not an expert by any means, but I can take a look into it. Let's take a look here. It's a beautiful fall morning. It's warm. It's about 60 Fahrenheit or 15 Celsius. Light rain. Lovely. That's so nice. Let's see. Yeah, that's so nice. That sounds so wonderful. And let's see. Beep pop pop is okay, great. So I want to make a note here to do something with that. Maybe we'll do a stream on that. I wanted to try something else out today too. This is not what I was looking for. I wanted to try something else out today as well. Okay, making a note here. Let's save that. Okay, I want to see if this works because I had somebody suggested this, and this is like one way to do things. So if someone comments, and instead of me reading it, if I went like this, is this a quick enough thing?
At home in Karlstad, chilling on the couch with the cat, experiencing some disease working through the system.
Is that audible? Was that audible to people? Was it too fast? I want to know, because that's an idea for longer things, is just to like listen to them myself, because I can often hear more. I didn't even know that you were experiencing some disease because I read over it so quickly. Excellent. It's a bit fast. It is a bit fast. That's how fast, when I listen to like articles and stuff like that, that's the speed that I listen to them at. So yeah, that's my typical listening speed. So I'm not sure what even I could use an example to like show you guys. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's an article. So this is much of my life is this. I'm like sitting at the computer and this is what I'm hearing. It's an article from the Times.
As the coronavirus races across the country, it has reached every corner of a nursing home in Kansas, infecting all 62 residents inside.
Stuff like that. Anyway, good times, good times. That's most of my role. Okay, folks, so... Oh, Sela's back for more love. Okay, folks, so we're going to find a nice comfortable position that we can maintain for the duration of the sit. That means that we are going to... no. We're going to find a way that we can be still for the duration of the sit, and that means not moving the body at all, unless under two circumstances we'd like to. In that case, I'd like you to wait 30 seconds, maybe a minute, a number of breath cycles before you move, and then do so slowly, very mindfully. Or if you feel like overwhelm is sort of coming to the surface, you want to catch the overwhelm at like a 3 and not wait till it gets to 11. So go ahead and move and adjust, and if you need to shake the body or something like that, whatever you want to do. Look at this little lady. Look at this cute little lady. Okay, little nurture positive practice here. Feel snuggly feels. Okay, lady. You're going to get the heck out of here. Not drink my water. I don't know how I actually stop her from doing that, but that's the request. Okay, so experiment today. Work with me, folks. If the dog makes noise, it's hopefully better than her like whining in her crate, which is the other problem. If she's in her crate, sometimes she whines in the middle. What's the program that reads? It depends if you're on a PC or if you are on a Mac. On Mac, you can just put it in your settings and highlight anything, any text that's highlightable. You can right-click and have the computer read it to you. On PC, it only works as in Chrome. So that's part of Chrome. Okay, deciding if it's a mistake to let the dog run around while we meditate. Jean says, here's the article that tells how to use the Zoom link. Oh, thank you so much, Jean. That's very kind. I'm going to capture that article. So you might not, I don't know if you can hear this now, but apparently the people upstairs have just decided to start playing with marbles or something like that. So we'll see how that goes during the practice. Okay, so find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. And when you're ready, we'll begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths, just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we arrive at a meditation, we arrive with the momentum of all of the previous moments. And part of this is the mind will sometimes tell us that the experience we're having isn't interesting enough. It may tell us we've had this experience before, so it's not worth paying attention to. So letting go of that part of the mind by diving deep into the sensations of the body just rising and falling as we sit here breathing. Often the mind is looking for something more than what's happening. Some other task to do, some other place to be. And because of this, we can miss the deep richness of our current experience. So as we physically relax the body, both the large muscle groups as well as the deeper areas in the body, the place where the muscle meets the bone, the fascial level. As we physically relax the body as deeply as we can, recognizing the uniqueness of this particular experience. Never have we detected these sensations, at least not in this moment. The two have never met. And in this way, appreciating the uniqueness of this set of emotions, body sensations, the sensations of gravity, temperature, the sensations of breathing and digestion. And in this way, opening up to an overall experience of the body, all of the body's sensations. Not worrying about trying to capture every little sensation or thinking about sensations that are not present, just getting a general sense of what is the overall experience of the body in this moment. And if we can, tuning into the uniqueness of these particular sensations. The various types of pressures, releases, the various expansions and contractions of a body, an ordinary human body. And for a moment, taking some time to look around the experience of this body for any sensation that is clearly alive. And we mean quite literally, that is present because this body is living. There's the experience of breathing, stretching, lifting, relaxing the body. And there's the experience, if we can detect it, of circulation. The heart pumping, the movement of blood throughout the body, and this is much subtler. So seeing if we can detect this, usually in places where it's close to the surface, the wrists, the back of the knees, sometimes in the throat. What about digestion? The various pressures felt often in the abdomen related to the body processing fuel. So starting from the mouth, including taste, doing a scan down through the throat, the place where we often feel food moving. To the belly, where while we might not feel much pressure there now, we know where we feel hunger or feel full. We know where we feel the digestion process. So tuning in here, even though it's quite subtle at this moment. These are all simple and easy examples of sensations that indicate the experience of life in the body. Often when we come in contact with these sensations of life, what the mind produces is a concern or a fear around not being alive. So let's try it from that perspective so we don't simply fall into that trap unconsciously. Let's look for sensations in the body that are not alive. Another way of asking the same question: is there anything I can detect in my body that I could still detect if this body were no longer functioning, if it were no longer alive? And this is where we really need to observe our experience. The mind will tell us there are sensations. There are experiences that we can have in death. This is why we experience the thought of death as being very unpleasant or worrisome. The concern is that our emotions will continue on. So look for any sensation you'd be able to detect. Any activity in the body of any kind that you would have access to if this body were no longer functioning. Even our fear, our nervousness around the concept of not living. This is a living sensation. But often the mind will keep this little kernel. There is some experience, some sensation, something that will continue. So let's see if we can find it right now. Where is that sensation? And again, the only answers we're looking for are not mental audio or mental visual activation. They're simply in the form of body sensations. Will this sensation be here when this body is no longer functioning? No, not that one. How about this one? So this force, this energy, life itself, animated, expressive, what we're experiencing now, this body, not only is contact with that strange, impossible force, but in fact, all we have is contact with life. Contact itself, to know, to feel, and experience, is to experience this bubbling, scintillating, effervescent, sometimes painful, sometimes exciting, strange cauldron of life. We think of our body as a noun, as a thing made up of various other things. But these things are concepts that we put on top of a process. This verb, so recognizing, if we can, that all of this is a process. It's easy for the mind to settle on a kind of noun version of reality. But simply to recognize that what we're experiencing is an unfolding process. And to feel that, to feel ourselves riding that edge, the appearance of sensation into consciousness. The recognition that this life we're experiencing did not begin at birth. Did not even begin with our ancestors' birth. The force we're feeling in the body is far beyond ancient. In fact, it's not only primordial, it's not only billions and billions of years old, stemming from the deep primordial heat vents of the ocean. It's not only ancient beyond imagination. but it's also unbroken. This process we're experiencing now is directly linked to that spark of life, that origin, and somehow among all the natural death, turmoil, survival, there's never been a break in order for us to be in this experience now. We think of our lives in such short time frames. A week, a month, a decade. The few decades we've been alive. But what we have contact with, what is expressing itself now in the form of all of these body sensations, is so ancient, can't even fit within our human imagination. So instead of imagining, feeling. What does life feel like? And staying with the practice. Staying in stillness. We'll end the formal practice when the bell goes silent. Noticing if just hearing these words causes the body to prepare, causes life to take the form of getting ready, activating subtle muscles, allowing a tiny bit of light now to enter the eyes. Eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. And as we experience the visual world, feeling the impact of this, any emotions Any sensations related to now seeing? And as we feel the body, feel this process of life itself, as we know that cultivating this relationship is a training. In this moment, training the system to appreciate the experience of an ordinary living human body. And in this way, allowing this particular moment to be the great teacher, to show us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay. So making any adjustments you need to allow the body to be comfortable. And with your digital technology here, going ahead and writing down what your experience was like. This is a central part to developing a serious meditation practice, is to be able to articulate the experience, whether it was challenging or easy, whatever that was. And folks who are familiar with this process, who have been here before, know what it's like to describe their experience. So go ahead and, if you can, model for folks what it is we're talking about. What on earth do we mean by describing our experience? We're talking about our sensory experience. What was that? What occurred? This is a very important question when working with somebody, working with a student. Now I want to leave some space here. If you prefer not to write down your answer, you can jump here on Zoom. That will allow us to interface and give me a little bit more of a chance to get into the granular detail of your experience. Or if you just want to give a report or question, you can do it through Zoom as well. Just let me know if you want to jump onto Zoom, because otherwise I won't open the camera, because it messes with the system sometimes. What was that experience like? What happened? What do you like now? Good times. Okay, folks. So as people are punching in their reports, just a reminder, I've got to double check on this, because the plan is that next week we're going to have a guest here. And I want to double check. I'm going to send this text right now, because if I forget, I'll forget. One thing I know is that my mind is very sieve-like. Let's see. Okay. Thanks for the reminder, self. Message sent. Okay. Sporty Race Girl says, I want to try my reading app. I might have to slow it down, but I want to try it out, because I often misread what people are saying. Okay, let's try this. Hitting buttons and go.
When tuning into the subtle sensations in the body, the sensations become strong pulsating sensations that I always try to get rid of. A perception shift of viewing the strong pulsations as a strong life force was like I had a great gift that I didn't know I had.
That's lovely. Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying, it's a little hard, it is a little fast. Let me see here. Speed. Take take it down a little bit. See how that goes.
When tuning into the subtle sensations in the body,
Okay, great. So beep pop up is yeah, that's great. And often we resist things that are happening in the body or any sensations unconsciously. We're just like, this thing's happening. It shouldn't be happening. And often recognizing that it's just nature, whatever we're experiencing. And this is the hard part: is even pain, even like, difficult emotions, etc. They're just nature expressing themselves. And of course, what's also interesting, and this might be interesting to explore too, the part that's sort of resisting it, the part that's like pushing it away, that's nature too. So we can treat, especially if you're familiar with Buddhism, the idea that clinging and aversion, we've got to get rid of those. Actually, what we need to do is recognize that those are natural and bring them into consciousness, because they can't, it's not clinging and aversion that is really the problem. It's unconscious clinging and aversion. It's unknown clinging and aversion. So to know it and to experience it is to free it from its sort of bond of like something that's controlling us. So that's lovely. A gift you didn't know you had. Well, that is a lovely, that's a lovely potential. I love that. What else, folks? What else on earth? Yeah, what else? What else is coming up for folks? Okay, let's again try our reading system. I got Jean here. Hopefully this is not, hopefully this works. Ready, folks? Here we go.
The other day I mentioned that I was still processing the meditation. You asked what I meant by that. I'm realizing today that I'm trying to remember the main points that made me go, oh, that's particularly remarkable. At this point, the main thing I recall is from early in this meditation. You said something along the lines that our concern is that our emotions may continue after we are alive. Could you elaborate?
So I brought that up because, again, let me know how this is working with the audio reading, because it's easier for me for a couple things. It's much easier for me to listen generally. So, and I don't stumble over the words, etc. So what I meant there, I brought that up because we started getting into, effectively what we're talking about is death. And people deeply fear death. There's this sort of innate, oh my God, I'm going to die. So often when we come in contact with life, I've talked about this before, the rule of contrast. When noticing something, the mind will show us the opposite. So if I say, right now, only listen to silence, the mind will just hear sounds. If I say only listen to sounds, like there has to be continuous sounds, no breaks in the sounds, the mind will then show us silence, right? So this is a sort of a standard trick the mind does, and it's very useful to know. So if we start getting into exploring the experience of life, often what the mind does is show us what we think is the experience of death. But what that actually is life expressing itself in the form of a fear of the future. Again, we have to imagine the future. The mind is doing something. It is actively creating a thing. So creating a future where all of this great stuff will be gone and it'll be taken from us. And, all of our love and all of our, etc. will be missing. And so that can feel so painful. And I don't want to minimize that it's a very real thing. We're not going to talk it away in a few sentences here, but that's really what we're talking about, is this sense that the things that are important to us are the things that we like, or even our clinging. I like my clinging. I want to keep clinging. I like this ongoing thing. All of those things are not going to be present in the death experience. All of those things will be gone. And so there won't be a self to dislike it. There won't be as far as we know, there very well may be. But as far as we understand, all of those qualities will not be present. So when I talked about that a lot of what we fear in the experience of death is that our emotions will continue. We'll still be like, I hate this. This is awful. I've lost all these things. But even our sense of loss, even our sense of this hurts, or I don't like this, the part of us that can like things will be terminated as well. It will no longer be alive. Again, this is a very specific theology that I'm suggesting. It's a pretty atheistic concept, but that's what I tend towards, just because that's where we have the evidence. So that's what I meant by that. And it was, we don't have to contemplate that too deeply, because it often becomes overwhelming to think about like this time when we just won't exist and we'll lose everything. And that loss is, even the sense of loss is occurring now while we're alive. And so what we can do is turn that around and say, look at how alive it is. Look at how impossibly vital the entire experience is. And instead of taking this fear and turning the context of it, turning it into something that we like we have to fight with and it's difficult, or something we don't want to think about, to recognize that activity right now. I mean, just talking about this often will trigger some degree of a fear of this thing. That activity right now is life expressing itself, pouring out into this particular moment. So it's actually very rich. And it also takes it out of this little tiny context and opens it up, that the same sort of force that causes me to feel the sensations in my left hand is the same force that is causing me to consider, oh my God, wouldn't it be scary if I were not alive? So it gives us a little bit more context in that way. And yeah, that's the general case. All right, we're going to try this one more time. We're going to see what happens when the robot reads about the robot.
I like the HAL voice, but it's weird to hear your voice as female. It really helped with shifting focus from the mind's grumpy commenting on all the unpleasantness in the body to the actual feelings being much less of a problem.
Yeah, that's another aspect of this that I really appreciate, is that it's not about, it basically takes a lot of the clinging that we have about our experience away, and helps us recognizing that what we're experiencing is a force that is not personal. It is not against us. Even pain and fear and all these things, it's just this thing expressing itself, this sort of beautiful, impossible thing. Voice. Let's select. Oh my God, there's so many. There's like 1 million voices. Google Standard, Amazon Polish. Jeez Louise. Pitch. Oh, let's see what happens when we just change the pitch. Maybe that's all it is. All right, let's try this. I lowered the pitch. Okay, let's try the next statement here from Nick in a different pitch.
Feverish thoughts when you said something along the lines of feeling the experience of primordial life, the weird fact of how it is that you can know that I'm alive if that's all you've ever experienced. Can the mind only know something by contrast? Do you actually remember being not alive?
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for the follow here. Where the heck is we got a follow here from, man, I'm such a noob here. I don't know what's going on. I can't see who just followed us. Thank you so much. Whoever just followed us, say hello in the chat. I want to say thank you to you by name, but I missed it. I really like this pitch change. This is so awesome. Okay, let's try pitch change in the other direction. Let's try that again. Okay. Maybe I can even answer the question aside from just having fun with the pitch change. Okay.
Feverish thoughts when you said something along the lines of feeling the experience of primordial life, the weird.
Okay, again. It's so funny. Okay, well, I'll work this out offline because this is fun to work out with you, but I thought the pitch change would anyway, just so funny. Okay, we got to try one more. I'm going to go all the way down. Pitch change. We're going to see what's going to happen here. Great.
Feverish thoughts when you said something along the lines of feeling.
That sounds normal. I want low pitch. Oh, it changed back. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. Low.
Read aloud is a Chrome and Firefox extension that uses text-to-speech technology.
Okay, that's great. We're going to use that one for now. Okay, feverish thoughts. The mind is thinking here. This is Nick saying, we're finally reading this in a normal human voice-ish. When you said something along the lines of feeling the experience of primordial life, the weird fact of how, the weird fact is that it, that is, sorry. See, this is the reason I want a reading thing, because I get so, my dyslexia kicks in. The weird fact of how it is that you can know that I am alive if that is all you've ever experienced. So Yeah, I think part of what it is that can we only experience through contrast? How can we experience that we're alive if that's the only thing we've ever experienced? I would say it's the opposite, actually, that we can only experience life and we can't experience death. And so like death is very, very much a concept for us. And so, but it is not the case that you could only experience something through contrast. You can experience things quite directly, and, well, I don't know, you can define things more clearly through contrast. I wouldn't want to say you can only experience things through contrast. I feel like that would be too strong of a statement. Can't the mind only know something? Do you actually remember not being alive? So the question you're raising here is, could you detect something if you don't know its opposite? Could you detect life? It's worth knowing here, this is definitely worth knowing, that this idea of experiencing life is a concept. It is 100% a conceptual overlay on top of just raw sense data. This is a nurture positive practice. We are imagining something and laying it on top of the raw sense data. For me, it's something that works really well to make me feel better about my life, so I like it. And it's helpful to know that this is not like a pure thing. Like the experience of it being alive is not inherent to the experience itself. This is a conceptual overlay. However, I find that it's a conceptual overlay that will eat its own tail, and you don't have to like be focusing on like it's alive, it's alive. It just starts to show itself as a kind of verb. That might be a more exact way to say it, is that actually our experiences are processes, and if we can experience them as processes, then we know, or we can experience them a little bit more richly than experiencing them as just things that exist as kind of objects. So hopefully that clarifies. Let's see. Hopefully that answers. Nick then says, never connected conception and concept, even though they almost literally are the same word. So conception, the beginning of the concept of this is my life began with the sperm and the egg, along with all additional concepts. Yeah, I think that that's actually a little different than what I'm saying, because we want to separate out the world and our experience of the world. And a lot of meditation takes place within our experience of the world, and we can confuse that with the world. This is why people will say, like, just like the formation of the universe, there's all of this material floating and it sort of comes together and turns into a planet. Just like that, you can experience this sort of ethereal thing in the mind, and it comes together to be your life and these kind of things. It is like that for sure, but that does not mean that in that experience we are directly experiencing the formation of the universe. Maybe we are, I don't know that we are, but I try to separate out our experience from the material world. Our experience can be very, very phantasmagoric, and that doesn't necessarily mean something's changing, but our experience is changing. This is where so many problems with in meditation arguments and these kind of things, such as rebirth, right? People say, is it real? Is it not real? And so rebirth is an example, and I don't want to say this is always the case, but for me, it's an example of using something that happens experientially. It feels like we are born into the moment over and over again. That idea of being born, and the previous moment is death, and the future moments are like future imagined lives, and then we're reborn again, and then in this moment we're reborn again, are very attractive because those kind of stories are very attractive. Somebody coming out of a time machine or waking up from a coma. Those are very attractive because they're very accurate. They feel very close to our own experience. I don't know if anyone's ever watched Westworld, but the robots come alive and they're like, oh, what a beautiful day. Or they're like, this goddamn saloon, whatever. And their past memories are like vague sort of impressions, but they know their history. If you ask them what their past is, they'll be able to tell you. But they just come into this moment, and that's our experience. This is the nature of our experiencing. So we really like those kind of stories. However, it is not the case that time just started a second ago, and or our experience of time is very flexible. The watched pot situation, the idea that time is actually fluctuating in these ways. Our perception is time is fluctuating, and physics tells us that time fluctuates. So therefore, there must be a one-to-one ratio, and it's just not the case. So I like to separate those two out. So when we talk about conception beginning at X time, well, I think that actually occurs in the physical world, and then concepts come online at some point that the living, biological system needs concepts in order to navigate the world inside and outside. And, and I think that there's a lot of that's in the realm of psychology. So hopefully that answers the question a little bit. Good times, folks. What else? What the heck else is going on for folks? What is new? What is happening? What is going on before we send you out there to take over the world from your apartment? So what is new and what is happening? Let me know any questions before we hit the eject button. Excellent. Okay, folks, very lovely to be here with you as always. We are going to be back here. Hopefully next week we're going to have a guest. Thanks for the reminder about that. And what that's going to mean is we're going to explore some new meditation technology guided by our friend, secret guest, coming soon. We'll find out. No reply yet. Okay, folks, great to see you. Got to jump off. I realize I actually have a conversation with Michael Taft coming in 3 minutes, so I really got to go. Great to see you, as always. So, folks, right now in this particular moment, look around, check out your environment, feel the body, and if you can, recognizing that life itself, this primordial force, is flowing through you, the same force that animates our adorable puppy, that animates the strange, weird world of flora around us, that activates our lovely houseplants. The same force is bubbling and percolating within us at this very moment. Hopefully that is available, just to know that this force is guiding us, teaching us about the nature of being. Even the mind that can observe this is an expression of the same force. So folks, as always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.